The City of Cape Town's anti-land invasion unit and law enforcement agencies have come under widespread criticism following the eviction of residents from Empolweni informal settlement in Khayelitsha. Although the city maintains it is acting in accordance with a court order, yesterday residents whose illegal structures had earlier been demolished pelted the vehicle of a mayoral committee member with stones. Malusi Booi escaped without injury, but his vehicle was damaged in the incident, and he joins us this morning via Skype. Malusi, thank you. Thanks for joining us here on the program.
Good morning, Leanne, and good morning to your listeners.
Perhaps you can give us a little bit more detail as to what happened yesterday and how you're doing this morning.
Well, I'm very well. Yesterday, the message was very clear to the residents that we're trying to invade the land that we have court order on. And we got that court order from the Western Cape High Court last year for us not to allow anybody to invade that land, erect any structure, nor extend any structure thereof. But the residents were very. They could understand. My message is very clear. They must go to their points where they were coming from, because they claim that they are backyarders who have been evicted by the landlords. So I'm saying that those landlords have done something that is very illegal, because the president has sent out a very strong message on the lockdown regulations that no one is of Cape Town who have not evicted a single person, but people have invaded our land.
All right. Okay. It's such a bad connection, and we kept losing you there. So I'm just going to ask you a question, which I know you did address, but I'm going to ask you it again, just so we can get it from you. Obviously, it was a Human Settlement Department appeal that nobody get evicted from land at this time during the lockdown. However, this seemed to have happened under your watch. So perhaps you can just tell us again, why did this happen?
As I've said before, Leanne, City of Cape Town has not evicted a single person. People who have been evicted by landlords where they were staying. What they did thereafter, they tried to invade city-owned land, which we have a court order on to prohibit any person from accessing that land. So the City of Cape Town has not evicted any person. So it never happened at our watch. What we were doing was simply safeguarding the site that we have, which is earmarked for development in the future.
Okay. All right. So thank you for the clarification. I know you did say it, but we're just losing you. So we missed that answer of yours that we really did need. We needed from you. But again, I have to ask you, is it fair at a time like this? I mean, we understand what you're saying, but, one has to ask if it is fair. With COVID-19, there is nowhere for these people to go.
Leanne, I deeply sympathize with the individuals who have been evicted by the landlords. But the question should be not asked to ourselves as a city, but to the landlords that have contravened the lockdown regulation. Because it's not the City of Cape Town that has contravened regulations. It's the landlords where these people were staying. Because the president was very clear that everybody must stay at home. And they stay where they are. Only people that are allowed to be on our streets are people who are dealing with essential services. Now, the people who should be charged is the people who have evicted people who worked against the lockdown regulations. So what we need to do, and which is what I've been saying to that community, we need to sit down and they need to indicate to me who has evicted them, so that I can be in a position to engage those landlords.
Are there alternatives that have been given to the people that have been evicted? I know you don't like to say evicted because they're illegally occupying the land, but at the end of the day, they are being evicted off of that land. Is there alternatives that you can offer, or is what you're saying is they need to go back to where they came from?
Leanne, I just want to put this on record. There's a difference between eviction and invasion. City of Cape Town has not evicted a single person, as I've said before. We are dealing with people that are invading city-owned land. So evictions have been done by the previous landlords. Now, for us to be able to deal with the matter, we need to understand where they were coming from, so that we are able to address the problem. Because remember, Leon, we have lost a number of land parcels throughout the years, primarily because people invade land that is earmarked for development, because they want to be prioritized. As you can see, many of those people that are on that particular site are young people. And what we are prioritizing at the moment is the elderly, the disabled people, and the child-headed households. Now, we can't at this particular point be giving houses or prioritizing young people. We have a backlog of old people who have not received houses, and we are planning to develop for those people.
Yeah. If these individuals come back and once again set up structures on this land, will you again perform the same duty of evicting them? I know you don't like to use the word evict him, but remove them.
Well, we'll have to clear the site. What I've done, I've also engaged the National Human Settlements. I've spoken to Minister Lindwe Sisulu a day before yesterday about the matter. I've also spoken to the provincial minister in the Western Cape about the matter, and I'm looking forward in terms of us sitting around the table and having a way forward on it. But at this particular moment, I'll have to keep the site cleared up until there is that engagement. And also the community, I've requested also with them yesterday that we must have a discussion on where they were coming from, so that I can be able to have an engagement between themselves and the previous landlords.
Okay. Just in terms of the behavior of some police members yesterday, and there was some concern about the firing of rubber bullets and, getting a little bit violent with the people that were there. Do you have a response to this?
Well, SABC is not under our jurisdiction. They have command that they source from National Department. So I cannot be in a position to speak on their behalf. I think perhaps if you had asked maybe the gentleman who, I think it's Richard, from the spokesperson from POPCO or somebody, but I cannot speak on behalf of SABC.
Yeah.
But I can speak on behalf of our law enforcement agencies. They are doing whatever they can to make sure that no one gets harmed. We deal with such instances almost on daily basis within the city of Cape Town, people trying to gain access to land that does not belong to them. So they execute whatever with serious caution. But I can't speak on behalf of SABC.
All right, let's leave it there. Thanks so much for talking to us here on the program. This was, of course, the City of Cape Town's mayoral committee member responsible for human settlements, Malusi Booi, giving us the city's perspective when it comes to evictions that are underway in the city. Despite the national lockdown, and of course you heard he's not calling them evictions because this land does not belong to them and they should not be there. But his vehicle was pelted yesterday by very angry individuals whose houses or structures were taken down at that point. But we thank him very much for talking to us on the program. Let's take a break. News at 8 after this.